It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here.
So welcome to Mind Your Business. I am your host, Jamillah Lodge, and you are Soleil, Laurent, and Arianna Silver, and you're co-founders of Equality Education.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that, what that means, but also a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey.
Sounds great.
Okay, all right. So firstly, I would love for you to just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and why you decided, I guess, to go on this entrepreneurial journey. So we'll start with you, Soleil.
Wow. So I was raised with a lot of entrepreneurs in my life. My mother is a fantastic entrepreneur. So is my father. So growing up, building creative projects was kind of like, it was just how we were. So that had left a really big impact. And I knew that I wanted to make a difference in the world. That's why one of the reasons why I created Equality Education. And I guess it really was just a calling. I feel like internally, everyone has a purpose, and your job is just to find what that purpose is and trust your gut and move forward and literally just let life unfold and trust.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, give me some of that. Can you
Because it's hard. Yes, it's super hard. Roller coaster. The emotions, the ups and downs. But I've learned to listen to the signs. I've learned to, when you're making impact in the world. You know it, but little things that are happening, whether it's somebody that's coming up to you and be like, oh, I need this, or et cetera. When you're making impact, and you kind of know, even when things look crazy, sometimes you just feel like there's something pushing you forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. So how tell me about you first, and then how you came to be co-founder of Equality Education.
Sure. So, tell me about me.
Yes.
So I like long walks in the beach.
Well,
I love that.
Okay.
So I grew up in the same thing. So and I have a lot of alignment. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. I was helping my dad. I had to quit my high school job to help my dad come run his business while he was in a transition phase. And ever since then, I was really never at home in a job. It always felt a little bit off to me. And I had some choice experiences where it showed me that it was true, that I could be on my own and I could pursue my own passion and create an impact in the world through my own creations outside of the structure of like a paycheck and stuff like that. And then Soleil and I had a really serendipitous way of coming across each other and starting this friendship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How is it that two people who are so aligned, met to create this? That's awesome.
And I think you kind of show up in the right place at the right time in life, and you keep yourself open to whatever could happen, and then you find the people who are meant to vibrate in that same place with you. And my partnership with my husband started off as a friendship as well. So I was like, I already knew. I was like, oh, this is another person where it's that same friendship can fold into something much bigger than that. So,
Yeah, that's so true. I felt the same for sure. I think the thing about Arianna and I is that since we grew up with entrepreneurs, we have such a driven energy. We've always had drive. And our different personalities, they just mesh so well. It's it literally is magic.
It is, and I think you're fortunate in that way, because sometimes partnerships just go south real quick. Because I guess there isn't that alignment.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we know that you're a match made in heaven. Let's talk a little bit about Equality Education and what it is and why it is.
Oh, wow. Great question. Yeah. Equality Education is a personal development company. We teach emotional intelligence to everyone, all around the world. However, we are really big in the school systems. So students, staff, and parents. We've sold over 100,000 books. We created workshops for people to literally build their self-esteem, for communication, emotional intelligence for families. We brought in such a impactful programming to New York City Department of Education because it's just important to have these life skills, and we're looking to expand all over, hopefully Bermuda. Come on. And also, we've just been focused on helping people discover their greatness. Like, we teach this skill for people to live a fulfilled life. I think people are living in reaction mode, and they go to the end of life, they go to the end of life, and they're like, what did I do? How come I didn't do this? But we kind of come together with our backgrounds and been able to formulate programming to help people win, literally win. So,
and I feel like the part that's been really cool about the progression of the company is that there's been so many different phases of what we do and the way that it's led to different outcomes for us. And so what we were talking about earlier today in our workshop is pivoting.
Yeah.
So we had like a plan of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to make it happen. And then along the way, all of these different curveballs or opportunities or connections came up, and we realized that it opened the door to things that we hadn't considered in the company. And walking through those doors have led to some of our greatest outcomes and successes that we've had. So the marketplaces in New York were really instrumental in the growth of the business. We met the person that we did our partnership with Puma in the market. By other books.
Yeah, for the largest nonprofits.
Yeah.
Like, we partner with large nonprofits.
Yeah. Hospitals and the Department of Education, that sort of thing. So that's been a really cool part of the progression of ourselves as entrepreneurs, but the trajectory of the company as a whole. It's just like, we couldn't have guessed these things.
This was gonna happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think, Arianna, you brought up a good point about the fact that you had to be flexible enough to pivot, right? Because you go in and create a business, you're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna sell this, and that's gonna be it. But then your potential customers or the market's like, well,
We need this.
What would you do this? And so I think the response to that, is key, right? It's the willingness to be able to pivot as long as it still aligns with what your ultimate goal is.
100%.
And to that point, actually, one of the things that we learned really early on in the company that was it's like one of the keys to our success is that we picked the lane, the industry and the area that we wanted to work in, and then we went out and we talked to everybody. And we found out, what do you not have? Where are the holes and the gaps and the things that you wish this company had, and where you wish you could have this resource and all that? And then what we were able to do is fold all of that into our products and services to be totally unforgettable. And so it was like, we had all the things where we could say, well, our competitors don't do this and this and this off top because we built it that way. So that was a really major part.
Yeah, and I think that as a business owner, entrepreneur, you have to be selfless. You have to listen to your audience. Just like what you were saying. It's like, you have to understand that the goal is to make an impact and make money. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And bringing yourself and your purpose, and also like, be a co-creator. I think some people can get so controlling and but be the co-creator of how this unfolds. Your success is going to be so much easier if you learn to be a co-creator versus trying to say, oh, you're attached to this idea. This is how it's supposed to happen. Like, you don't know. You got to be able to recognize the blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And not everybody can do it, right? They're blind to it. They're just like, nope, can't see it.
Yeah.
Right. Get okay, great. So you mentioned that you're working with schools. You mentioned that you're working with individuals.
Yeah.
What for you do you think has been your best collaboration or partnership? Where you've seen like the biggest impact and you're like, we did that.
What's yours? I have so many. I think for me, the thing that really started to strike me that I was like, oh my gosh, I have a real business. A little like proud mom moment when I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
A few years ago, so we do these markets in New York City, there's holiday markets, and it's like you have, you know, 1 million+ people that come through in a matter of 6 weeks. They're really massive, it's a lot of exposure. And what started to happen is that people would come, and we had already been doing other stuff in schools and other stuff all around the city, and people would start to come up and they would recognize the product and they already had it. And people would come back and they'd be asking to purchase some new products that we had to line and books and stuff like that. So that was really, it was an impactful moment where I was just like, oh my gosh, like people really love what they have.
Yes.
They're checking for it. We're providing value that is unmistakable, and we are seeing it in different areas. Because we have the schools, and we have people who are buying it for friends and family members, and they're really proud to like do this thing and give it as a gift. And that just like that to me is the whole thing. It
Yeah.
warms my heart. It just fills me up, and that is what I saw. Oh my God.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What about for you, Soleil?
Okay, so I think I was thinking as you were answering, actually, there's two pivotal things, right? There's the money making, right? So I remember when we first saw our first $100,000, I was like, wow. So that was like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, growing up, seeing it and like, I think it changes your perspective when you see your money grow, right? Like you see like your first 1,000, your first 10, your first whatever, and it grows. So that was a really big thing for me. When it comes to making a difference, when I took psychology classes, I realized that people self-sabotage or people get into really horrible situations because of the lack of information. That's what I realized. Whether they don't know what to prioritize, they don't understand the benefits of relationships or the benefits of self-esteem. They don't understand that. So when we started teaching that to schools and primarily low-income communities, and I saw like parents gravitating and saying, "Oh, I need this for my kid," or "I needed to know this topic. I need to know how to communicate to my child this situation." It warms my heart so much because it's like it creates a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, that's priceless.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you have the tools and the information to choose better because so it's challenging when individuals have a hard life because of the lack of information. But when you have a hard, like when you're unconscious about it, it's hard. I mean, if you have the information and you choose it, that's on your own merit, right?
It's like you know better, you do better.
And you know better,
Yeah.
better. So I think that's really like impactful to see like parents and even like we do multiple languages, you know. So Spanish is a huge one. We're working on Arabic right now. Like we're doing a couple of languages, so it's like it has an even bigger ripple effect.
Yes, because why not?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody needs help in that department, I think. In my mind, I'm like, they should make a button. So if you're not being emotionally intelligent, you just hit the button. No, try it again. No. We do need to try it. Right.
But a lot of people aren't emotionally intelligent because they don't have information. It's not that they
Not capable.
It's not that they're not capable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that they don't want to have a healthy relationship or a successful business because mindset is business.
Yeah.
What people do. It's just they're not aware of how emotional regulation or scarcity mindset affects your business. They can't put two and two together.
Right.
So they're thinking they're like, you know,
They're missing.
they're missing the whole point.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about you personally.
We are.
And so
Word last time we saw
I don't think I was bad. No, you weren't. And why you have these beautiful babies? And so, how does that impact, or has it impacted the way in which you look at your business and how you do your business? Because in my mind, I'm thinking what you're teaching other people are going to be great for you because now you have this new person that you're responsible for,
Yeah.
and you want to raise them with
Yeah.
the same things and tools that you're helping other people to achieve. So wondering, has it changed anything that you're doing? Have it added to, taken away? What's life like now as mothers and wives?
Life is different than mothers. So it's like you drop right in and you better figure it out.
Yeah.
I feel like we are even more our ideal like audience. No, we're our person that we make this for even
Right.
more.
Yeah.
We
That's
were
so
initially,
true. Yeah.
because we will always be like, we wish that someone taught us this when we were younger.
Mhm.
We wish that the people that came before you knew how to instill this knowledge in you the same way that someone teaches you how to ride a bike or tie shoes or whatever. You wish they taught you how to love yourself and how to communicate and how to manage your money. Nobody teaches you how to do your taxes or like all these things that are really foundational life skills that we all use every day and that we really struggle to figure out with ourselves. That's why you see people in their 20s and 30s and they go through these really massive periods of like unlearning and relearning themselves. What if you grew up in a place where all of your role models were teaching you social and emotional life skills? It would be massively different. And so I think it's really cool because Soleil and I, as we're on our Zoom call 5 days a week with the babies in our lap and breastfeeding and juggling all those challenges, our conversations constantly are about how we are and plan to raise our sons and our future children within the dynamic of what the power, the immense power that these skills hold for you to learn it when you're little.
Right.
It changes your whole life.
I'm gonna
It's crazy. It is. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I will say there's no. So Ariana and I have always been so passionate.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
If
like,
you can't tell.
I mean, like, you were so
Crazy.
like young with
Yeah.
aspiration coloring books in the backpack and just like we're passionate. I think being mothers now, we're more passionate because we're sensitive. I think when you become a mom, you get so sensitive.
Oh, right.
Well,
Yeah.
like you look at a person and you see beyond what they do or how they present, you're like, that's someone's daughter.
Yeah.
That's someone's son. That's someone's child. And like I think it makes our work even more important because I'm like, I hope that we can give you the information you need because hopefully someone poured into you and now you can pour into yourself. Like it makes it so much more like hard pulling
Yeah.
to get everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in my mind, I'm like, surely you being mothers is like the perfect fit for the type of business.
Yeah.
It's like the icing on the cake. Before you were there, but now it's like, ooh, that's a little cherry on top because you, like you said, you have a whole renewed sense of purpose or renewed sense of understanding.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So in terms of the delivery of the information, I know you mentioned different products. Can you talk a little bit more about the types of products and the different ways in which you are sharing this information and the ways in which people should move forward throughout their lives when it comes to emotional?
Love that. We have so many products now. I think.
do.
Yeah.
And speaking of mamas and women.
Oh, yes. We just launched this new membership.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And the purpose was really because we saw women in need of support and accountability from other like-minded women who have discovered, and are processing and implementing the power of emotional intelligence. So Soleil and I have had these like experiences for ourselves where we understood how powerful it was and we were like, where's my girlfriends that I can talk about this stuff with and be really vulnerable and feel like I can meet you masked off and talk about the things that are really on my mind that I feel like I can't say to anybody else. Maybe I can't talk to my mom about it. Maybe I'm not comfortable with my sisters or even my own partner, maybe. And it's like, how can we provide that space for those people who are feeling that way? And that's what the membership is. And it's Soleil and I bringing these really, it's us like taking more complex psychological concepts and then breaking them down in a way where we understand how we put them to our everyday life.
And we talk about it. So it's like a monthly live workshop. Then we have something called the progress party because in every workshop you're left with an exercise. So we had one called Eat the Frog. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's great. So we talk about how important your morning routine is, right? And the thing is, to eat the frog is to do your hardest thing as early as possible. So you organize your list where it's like the hardest thing you put on the top,
Right.
and that's the first thing that you do because your brain actually like it feels more relaxed and you have more clarity throughout the day because that's what you did first. All right. So our woman did that for like 2 weeks, and then we celebrate and we talk about the progress party, and it's literally an opportunity to share wins and engage with each other and see how the exercise fit into their life. Yeah.
I have never heard of that, and I think that's awesome. But how do you, for someone, let's say, who maybe not a morning person,
Yeah.
I'm not calling on it, but how? Because I'm sure there must be some,
Yeah.
but some of them that are trying to find. How do you work with a challenge like that? Like if you have to put that big thing you're up top, but this person is either unwilling or they don't know how or they didn't do a good job at it, and now they're at the party and now they have to report out and they go like, I failed. Like what? How do you go through that? Because I'm sure there must be some challenges. How do you manage that?
Failure is a man-made concept.
Oh,
Yeah. When people say fail, we always talk about it and we're like, failure is only when you committed to it. It's like you can only exist. It doesn't really exist until you stop trying. Like it's like as long as life is about experience, right? And as soon as you like say, I'm a failure, I'm done, I quit, then you're like attaching to yourself to the idea of this is my failing point versus thinking about what lessons did I get from it. Do I have an opportunity to start forward and giving yourself room for this life experience? I try to stay away from the idea of like attaching people to failure because once you have that stuck in the back of your mind, even if it's something so small, it impacts the rest of your life.
it's true. Wow. But that must be. Go ahead.
Everything we do at Equality Education and therefore within the membership is all about figuring out how to make things that can feel really big and overwhelming fit to your lifestyle.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so it's like, I'm not a morning person. Bet, are you going to be up at 11 o'clock? Do it by 11:30.
Gotcha.
Did you try it for 2 weeks and then you felt badly because we talk to the women in the group all the time who are like, I only did it yesterday. I'm in all 14 days. And we're like, what didn't work? How can we, Soleil and I are like strategists, and so we figure out how can we re-strategize around this to make sure that it fits in with who you are right now, what you need. There is no, and one of the things we always say is that self-reflection is not equal self-criticism.
Yes.
We don't want you to try something that you've never done before, that you feel really terrible about it, and then be adverse to trying it again. Because that's not helpful to anybody. You're not going to get anywhere, right? And so, for example, in the membership or with anything, anytime that you encounter us, what we're going to be doing is figuring out how to meet you where you are right now. So people don't know what emotional intelligence is. And some people are like, I've been doing it, I've been in so many relationships, and I tried to communicate, and it's never working. I've been doing it for years. What we're going to figure out and get to the root cause is how can we pivot? How can we shift something a little bit, meet you where you are? And with emotional intelligence, it's not like algebra where you're going to have like a natural inclination for it. It's that you can start where you are, period. You don't need money. You don't need to have certain accolades. You don't need to look a type of way. You don't need to know somebody in particular. You can do it with what you have right now today. And the key to all of it, that we very much emphasize with eating the frog and everything else, it takes practice.
Yeah. And grace.
And
Great. We have sometimes our worst. Like,
of course.
You know what I mean? And so that niggling that you were talking about that's like in the back of your head, and you're like, you try to silence it, but sometimes it's so loud that it can like disrupt all of the things. So hearing you say that you can meet people where they are,
Yes.
I think it's huge because sometimes you want to do it, but you're like, I just can't get out of my own way. Say my, you know what I mean? To say
That's
something.
common.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so common. But grace is important. And what's special about the wake up call, that's what the membership program is called, is that you have people that want the best for you. You have actual individuals that are like, you do it, make it happen. But yeah. And we also train individuals how to become your best friend mentally.
Okay.
Let go of that self-grace. That serves nothing for you. Being your own best friend, giving yourself grace, gives you so much more freedom.
Yeah.
Does it take time? Of course. There's times even us working and being moms, we have to give each other grace. We're like, oh my son is a girl. But we give each other grace because at the end of the day, we look at what is the outcome that we're trying to create. What do we want to create and why are we doing it and how do we meet each other? And it helps us accomplish so much more. So literally the membership is just an extension of this friendship so that other people can experience connection for friends who actually want to win in life.
I mean, we got, it's like we've replicated ourselves. We all get to experience this. So the membership, you have the products, the actual physical products, the books, you have your in-school sessions, your corporate sessions, your workshops. When you think about equality education in your wildest dreams, like what is it?
Oh, I love this question. It's like the most like, ridiculous thing this is what people say that these things are impossible, but what we really believe at a foundational level is that humans are built for love, self-love being the first stepping stone of how you engage in loving interactions. So for people to learn to love themselves at the beginning of their life would create a different planet full of humans. If we were taught that as a really core non-negotiable, that this is how you human, I breathe air, I blink, I pump blood through my heart, and I love myself. If we understood that as a part of who we are, it would change everything. It would renegotiate the way that we see differences in each other. We would realize that those things are beautiful blessings for us to learn from someone else and to really appreciate and have gratitude for. It would really change the way, obviously, that people in politics and dynamics between countries and war and all of those things would have a whole different way of intersecting and playing out. So for me, that's my like big picture where I'm like, I want every human being to put self-love as their number one priority in their life, and it would create so many outcomes we can.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the strife and a lot of the challenges are based on people who just either have a low self-esteem, mad at really themselves, but are taking it out on other people. You know what I mean? So I agree. All of that.
Agree.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of it.
And we'll help, and we will teach you. If anyone wants to know how to themselves, we will help you. That's just our vision. That's a fact.
The funny thing about that is that sometimes the very ones that need that don't recognize
That they need it.
they need it. The
Self-awareness. And that's actually hard, right? Because they don't understand that until they hit something so painful.
Totally.
Until they experience something so painful that is the catalyst of like, okay, maybe I do need to change that because maybe it was me.
Yeah.
Again, everyone has a choice, but it's like we can help as far as we can. But for individuals that are even a little bit interested, we're there to hold your hand and make it through. It's good.
Yeah.
I want every kid to have an affirmation part. I think people don't understand the power of creating a positive self-image. It's so important. I want every kid,
especially for children.
I want every kid to become healthy adults.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
It's so I want every kid to have an I am affirmation colored book. I want every school in the whole world to have emotional intelligence classes. I want that would make such a huge different in the world. Imagine if we all learned communication.
Right. Effective communication.
Effective communication. What if we all learned emotional regulation?
Right?
That would be, and how to nurture our self-esteem, how to have healthy relationships. There would be actually healthy breakups.
This is not all working.
Like, why can't we have those healthy dynamics?
Right.
You know, so every kid has a coloring book, emotional intelligence taught in classes, multi-million dollar company, you know, going for the M's, you know, or going for the M's, traveling and being in different conferences and having such impact. I feel like today was so powerful because people really understood how their mindset is affecting their business.
Yeah.
They really got it. And how, you know, people, if you're an entrepreneur, you're essentially a leader.
Yes.
And people are visualizing you like that. But in order to be a great leader, they want to see a whole person.
Yeah.
They don't want somebody that's burned out just from working all the time. They want to know who you are. They want to have belief in following you. And that comes from nurturing you. So we're always like, I want to expand this even more where we get to touch everyone's lives. You know, like that would be great.
Yeah.
And I want people to have self-awareness and have the breakdown, to have the breakthrough. I don't want people to live their last phase of life and have regret. I see it so many times. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking. I want people to know this is it.
Life is one life. Live it, but live it purposefully. Right?
Because this is it. And the thing is, people don't understand that in their last phase, there'll be a moment where you can't do anything.
Yes.
Now. Right. Like, can't enjoy it. You can't go back.
You can't go back. You gotta live it right now.
Right now.
Right now.
So that's my big picture.
So this has been a great conversation. I thank you guys for indulging me.
Yeah.
So for those who are interested and want to learn more, they're like, I need to self-regulate. How do they get in touch with you? Where can they follow you? How can they learn more?
Yes.
Website thequalityeducation.com.
Okay.
Email is just hello@thequalityeducation.com. And socials on everything.
It's the Equality EDU.
All right.
That's it.
Well,
Oh,
I
we
want
have a podcast.
Oh,
Friends who want you to win.
yeah. I love that.
So yeah.
It's like the membership, but with just us.
Yeah.
We get like a little view into what goes on in the day.
Right?
We would have like 3-hour-long conversations, and then we're like, we need to press. So we talk everything.
Yeah.
All life, everything.
You'll learn, you'll laugh, you'll cry.
Yes.
You'll be, hopefully uplifted.
Oh,
And I'm going to ask you your vision for your business.
Yeah.
listen, for me, honestly, where I find the most purpose is in helping others to identify and realize their passion.
No, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you can see someone start from just an idea and then it's realized that you know that you had a little small piece, just a little bit, not a lot, because it's all them. It's very fulfilling for me. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.